Hi, and welcome to part one of my series, Did I Like It? Today we're going to be talking about A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft, which was published in 2024. As I mentioned, I'm going to try and keep these as spoiler-free as possible. However, if you want a full deep dive, you can go check out the video, which is now in my YouTube. I do have to say, initially, when I was looking at book recommendations, I did pass over this work because I didn't really think that I vibed with the blurb. But then when I saw it physically in Waterstones and saw like how gorgeous the cover art and the page edges were, it kind of felt like fate. I mean, like I kind of have to. It's beautiful. I wanted it on my shelf. But anyway, back to the book itself. It was my first sapphic first romance, so I can't compare it to other sapphic novels just yet. There should be more coming. It was also my first step into what could loosely be called dark academia. I'm saying loosely just because only the first part of it is based in an academic setting. Um, the story follows Lorelei, a very talented folklorist, on her journey to the source of all magic in the world. She is accompanying her lecturer, and with them are a group of noble friends, including the enemy love interest Sylvia. I love her dearly. Lorelei is a sharp-tongued and like her overall demeanor pushes people away. However, through murder and mystery, her life is intertwined with Sylvia's. Now, for the ranking, luckily earlier this year, Holly bought me this at a con, which is a beautiful little book wrap up, and has a handy dandy little rating section. So I'm gonna use that. If anyone like knows the artist, please let me know because I really want to be able to recommend it to other people, but I don't know who the artist is. So if you recognize it, let me know in the comments, please. But for this book specifically, I've given the plot 4 stars, 3 stars for the writing, 4 stars for characters, and 4 stars for romance. I was debating about putting the plot down to a 3 stars, but I think like the amount of times that I came home stressed, yelling, "The girls are fighting" to Holly kind of shows that I thought about the book a lot when I wasn't reading it. I felt like it did take me a little while to get into, but I think that the world building in a standalone novel about magic always makes the first few chapters feel like homework. There's a lot to get your head around. And I also had a few issues with the pacing of the book in general. There were areas where I would have liked a little bit more time and areas that I think dragged a little, but I didn't think this majorly impacted my rating. One thing that I did find confusing initially was the amount of Jewish stereotypes, so bad, good, and neutral, being used throughout the novel. So I did some research and I saw that in an interview with Daily Nerd for her second novel, A Far Wilder Magic, Saft says, "Apart from that, Margaret is the first Jewish protagonist I've written. It felt very vulnerable to put some of my experiences on the page." So, like, knowing that, I think it's interesting how she uses a lot of Jewish history and folklore and stereotypes to establish Lorelei's experiences and relationships with others. An issue that I did have with the book was the like traditional enemies to lovers thing, where they sort of flip flopped about getting to like each other and then suddenly hating each other and then going back and loving them, and sometimes it felt a little bit unnecessary. But I have to say the deeper romance aspects of this book were good, were very good, and I thought about these characters a lot. And I know I already mentioned about the world building earlier, and like, yeah, it was a little bit of a chore initially, but I do think it really made the rest of the world richer. The folklore and the mystical aspects of the world felt really real to me and helped me like flesh out a magical yet dangerous world. So overall, I really enjoyed this book, and I would recommend picking it up if it's your thing. Thanks for coming along. Bye.